The Pretoria High Court has heard that the gun that is believed to have been used in the murder of former Orlando Pirates goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa in 2014 was stolen from the SBV security company during a cash-in-transit robbery in 2013. Now, the company's logistics legislative manager, Jakobus Smuts, who's in charge of ensuring the business complies with the legislations, and that lost and stolen firearms get reported to the police within the legislatively stipulated time, confirmed the company owned the firearm. Now, Smuts says their guards were ambushed and disarmed at a shopping centre in Rabie Ridge in 2013, which was when the firearm was stolen. The court has previously heard the bullet projectile, which was found on the scene of Meyiwa's murder, had been fired from this particular gun. SABC reporter Sipho Kekana joins us live now for more details. Now, Sipho, of course, this particular revelation is quite a serious one.
Yeah. You're all right. Good evening, Bongiwe. So the SBV security company manager, Jakobus Smuts, has told the court that the gun serial number, which was rediscovered after the electromagnetic etching process, confirmed that that was the gun that was stolen from the company in 2013. He says, so we've come to know also that 2 years later, on the 9th of February 2015, accused number 3, Mthobisi Mncube, was then arrested, and the gun, together with a box full of ammunition, were found on top of his wardrobe in his room in Malvern in Johannesburg. Let's take a listen.
Can you tell the court in your own words as to what happened to the firearm?
The specific firearm related to what we've mentioned now, and the license was stolen during a cash-in-transit robbery. It was stolen in 2013 in Rabie Ridge in the month of May 2013, in which it was reported to the police. It was at a shopping center in Rabie Ridge. The security officers carry firearms with them to protect them against any attack on them. So what happened during this incident was the firearms were removed from the SBV employees during the attack. So what the guys have done is they've taken the firearms of our employees so they cannot defend themselves. So they disarmed them. And then if an employee is disarmed, it's easy to take the cash. So that was the actions of that specific incident.
Previously, the court heard that projectile, which was found on the scene of Meyiwa's murder, was a copper metal jacket bullet, or CMJ, which ballistic expert Christian Mangena last week confirmed that it was fired from this particular gun. So according to Smart, while the security guards were issued with full metal jacket bullets, or FMJs, the CZ75, this 9mm pistol, was able to fire even the CMJ bullets. So in line with Warrant Officer Cornelius Ruloff's testimony on Friday last week, Smart says while the serial number on the barrel of the gun was also obliterated, ballistics could confirm whether the barrel on that gun was the same barrel that was there when this particular firearm was stolen in 2013. Let's cue that in.
Did I hear you correctly to say in that barrel there is no serial number?
There's no serial number on the outside.
In that barrel?
Correct.
So you cannot confirm if that barrel is the same barrel that belonged to that firearm?
If I can add on to it, it slipped my mind now. If you look at the ballistics with the rifling inside, that can determine, that's where the ballistic testing was done on. Okay. So the rifling, the cuts inside the barrel, yes, that's where the bullet goes out, so that can be used to determine that it's this firearm.
Okay. But so far you cannot tell?
You cannot tell in terms of the serial numbers that's been scratched off.
So Bongi, we're following that brief stint on the witness stand. Smuts was then, he then got off the witness stand, and then traditional healer Lion Zwane then ascended to the witness stand. He told the court about an incident that he remembers about a gentleman by the name of Sbia who came with 2 other gentlemen seeking muti for them to find work. Now, Zwane says that he could not point any of the accused people who were sitting in the dock as the people who had approached him that year. He told the court that these gentlemen returned back to him a few days later, asking to be cleansed following an injury to one of the people who got injured while these three men were carrying out this particular job. Let's take a listen to that.
On this second occasion, was he alone? Was he with other people?
The second time around, I cannot ascertain as to the number of the people that came. Safe to say that this very Sibiya that came for the first time to consult with me, he came the second time around to indicate that that job has been done. Now, he says to me where they had gone to search for work, there's someone that had sustained some injury there.
Now, court adjourned as the state and the defense could not agree on the admission of DNA samples taken from the accused to compare those DNA samples with the samples taken from the crime scene. Warrant Officer Thabo Musia tomorrow, who was the first forensic officer to arrive on the scene, will be on the witness stand tomorrow morning to testify, particularly on the time that he left the crime scene in the wee hours of the 27th of October that year, and the time that he returned to the scene. You'd recall that Musia previously told the court that he left the scene just before 3 a.m. and he has also told the court that he then returned around 6 a.m. before that projectile was then found on top of the kitchen counter by Colonel Tobeka Mhlahlo. Now, according to Musia Bongiwe, Mhlahlo found him on the scene on that morning. However, in his pocketbook, which was later admitted as evidence, revealed that he had only returned to the scene at about 10:25, while Mhlahlo had arrived at 9:10. Let's take a listen. So Bongiwe, that is all. So we are expecting tomorrow now that Musia will then come and testify on those times, the time that he arrived on the scene, the time that he left, and whether he found Mhlahlo on the scene or whether Mhlahlo found him on the scene. And you'd recall this is very important because there has previously been allegations and accusations of scene tampering and planting of evidence, and it was Mhlahlo during that time who found that bullet projectile. All those things will then come under the spotlight tomorrow when court resumes.